Exposed. How a 4,000 dinner ignited my incredible transformation from disgrace to empowered woman. Jenna Baker stood in front of the mirror, her heart racing. How could a mere invitation to a charity dinner ignite such intense feelings of desperation and hope? This wasn't just any dinner. It was a 4,000 affair for veterans. The thought of that amount made her stomach churn. She looked down at her worn-out shoes, scuffed from years of long shifts at the diner. Was it even possible? She was a single mother of two, juggling the responsibilities of raising Mia and Lucas while serving tables to make ends meet. The weight of her life felt like a lead balloon, yanking her down towards the depths of financial despair. Each day, Jenna carried a sunshine smile, masking the turmoil beneath. But that day, she pondered her dreams that felt so far away. The thought of attending that gala, making meaningful connections, and possibly changing her family's future felt like a distant fantasy. Yet, the roar of her children's laughter echoed in her mind. Wouldn't it be worth it to fight a little harder? Desperation sparked a glimmer of hope, leading her to the community center where she volunteered. With trembling fingers, she typed out a heartfelt request for sponsorship, grappling with pride and the harsh truth that she needed help. "I'm doing this for you, Mia and Lucas," she whispered, her heart swelling with determination. When the night of the gala arrived, Jenna could hardly breathe. Sparkling chandeliers illuminated the venue, casting a dreamy glow over elegantly dressed guests who seemed worlds apart from her reality. The laughter and chatter felt like a foreign language, leaving her feeling exposed, a fish out of water among sharks. Judging glances snared her, like harsh whispers under the guise of polite conversation. But there, among the opulent decorations, she also felt a sense of camaraderie as she met veterans and their families. They saw her spirit, her kindness, not just the fabric of her worn dress. It was such a beautiful, bittersweet contrast to her life back home. As the evening unfolded, Jenna's intense feelings of indignation transformed into a fire that propelled her forward. She stole away to the kitchen in a moment of spontaneity, her love for cooking beckoning her. That unanticipated chance reawakened passion she buried beneath bags of bills and endless responsibilities. She whipped up a dish infused with the flavors of her childhood, igniting excitement among those who tasted it. Just then she thought she had arrived at a turning point. But back home, the darkness loomed larger as betrayals shattered her family's tranquility. The pressures of it all felt like a crushing weight, making her question whether she could keep everything she loved safe. She stood on the precipice of losing what mattered most. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Amid the turmoil, Jenna found herself channeling her grief into her cooking, creating dishes that embodied the values of community and resilience. Just when her journey toward empowerment began to take shape, her estranged father suddenly reappeared, burdening her with unresolved issues. With tears in her eyes, Jenna faced a dinner table full of challenges. Would she find the courage to confront her past while forging a worthy future for herself and her children? Every heartbeat drummed the question in her mind, leaving the audience wondering. Will she choose reconciliation, or will the chains of her history keep her shackled to disgrace? Jenna took a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly as she set the table. The flowers Laura had brought from the garden brightened the cramped space, but the scent did little to mask the anxiety in the air. It had been years since she'd seen her father, but his return stirred memories she thought she had long buried. What did he want? Closure? Forgiveness? Answers? Each thought felt like a stone sinking deeper in her chest as she placed the last fork down. The door creaked open. A figure stood silhouetted against the dim hallway light. There he was, the man who had once walked away. An uneasy smile spread across his face, but Jenna felt no warmth. Only a cold rush of anger and betrayal washed over her. "Dad," she said, the word feeling foreign on her tongue. "Jenna," he replied, stepping into the house. The years had not been kind to him. Lines etched deep around his eyes, a harbinger of guilt shadowed by regret. It was a look she recognized, one she had worn many nights after long shifts at the diner. But that familiarity didn't quell the hurt she held inside. "Thank you for coming," was all she managed, feeling the weight of her children behind her, sensing their confusion. Mia peered out from the kitchen, holding her brother's hand. They were the true treasures of her life, the joy that made every struggle worthwhile. Jenna couldn't let her past jeopardize their future. Dinner began in awkward silence, forks clanking against plates, the only sound apart from their shallow breaths. After a few minutes, her father cleared his throat. "I've missed you," he began, an edge of desperation in his voice. "Missed me?" Her tone cut like glass. "You left." He winced. "I know. I messed up, Jenna. I was scared." "Scared? That's the story you bring to this dinner? Because it sounds like an excuse." The fire inside her roared. She couldn't hold it back. "You chose yourself over us." As her words hung in the air, both children shifted, unsure of what to think. Mia looked at her mother, then to her grandfather, eyes wide, confused by the tension that seemed to seep into the very walls around them. "Please just let me explain," he said, his voice steadying. "I never stopped thinking about you or your mother. I thought what? That disappearing would somehow make things better." Jenna interrupted, her heart racing. "I made mistakes. Just like you made the mistake of leaving." The words spilled out, venomous and true, and Jenna felt a release as they echoed into the air between them. It felt good to name the pain, to stand tall instead of cowering under years of silence. Suddenly Lucas piped up, his small voice breaking through the tension. "Are you going to stay now? Can we have ice cream after?" The innocence of the question softened the atmosphere, and Jenna's heart swelled with love for her children. They looked at their grandfather with expectant eyes, unaware of the fragile bridge being built in that moment. "Maybe," her father said, returning his gaze to his grandchildren. "But first I need to make things right. I want to be here for you, for both of you." Jenna shifted in her seat, emotions swirling within her. Was this a chance she never expected? Could she allow herself the possibility of a future where old wounds could begin to heal? The thought sent shivers down her spine. But deep down, a part of her worried that hope might be as fleeting as mist. The door back to the past creaked open a little wider, revealing shadows she wasn't sure how to face. The evening dragged on, and with each exchange Jenna felt unsure. Would forgiveness unlock doors to a new beginning? Or would it simply lead to more heartache? And in that moment, staring at her father, hope flickered dangerously close to despair. She gazed at the empty dishes around them, heavy with unsaid words. Jenna knew a choice was looming on the horizon. Would she dare step into the light, or retreat into the safety of her darkness? What would she choose when the moment of truth arrived? The weight of silence wrapped around the table like a thick blanket, smothering the lingering aroma of roasted chicken. Jenna glanced at her father, trying to read the expression etched on his weathered face. Did he really want to make things right? Or was this just another chapter of empty promises? "Can we talk about the past?" He seemed to expect her to engage, to coax out more from him. But Jenna's heart wasn't ready to revisit those memories that had nestled deep in her veins, like splinters. "I thought we were done with that," Jenna replied, channeling the anger she felt towards herself for even entertaining the notion of rekindling their relationship. "You made your choices." A half-smile crept onto his lips, but it faltered quickly under the weight of her gaze. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want to try again. We can't change what happened, but we can start from here." Lucas fidgeted, his little hands twisting around each other. "What about ice cream?" The innocence in his voice was stark against the heavy emotions surrounding them. Jenna's heart ached. She didn't want their evening to end in chaos. But was it so wrong to want answers and assurance? "Let us focus on the ice cream first," she said, hoping to lighten the mood for her children. "We can sort this out later." But deep down, Jenna knew the unresolved feelings would linger long past dessert. Her father nodded, though disappointment flickered across his face. "Sure, Lucas. Ice cream sounds great." He reached for the tub tucked away in the freezer, and with each spoonful, Jenna felt the walls of her heart shift slightly. As the children chattered about flavors and toppings, Jenna remained distant, lost in a whirlwind of emotions. She observed her father, watching him trying to engage with Mia and Lucas. The love and laughter of her children seemed to paint over the cracks in their evening, but the past still cast long shadows, She caught her father glancing at her, an unspoken question lingering between them. "You want to know if I am really back?" he said suddenly, cutting through the murmur of the children's laughter. "This isn't some half-hearted attempt. I want to be a part of your lives again." "You think it's that easy?" Jenna countered, her voice low but firm. "Years of silence can't just vanish over a plate of ice cream." "I know, but I'm willing to work for it." His eyes shimmered with an earnestness that made her heart flutter. It was everything she had longed for, yet everything that scared her. Mia, sensing the tension, piped up. "Can we all be friends? Like a happy family?" The hopeful wide-eyed admiration radiated from her daughter, and for a moment, Jenna felt the draw towards that vision, but family was built on trust, and she didn't trust her father yet, not completely. Each step forward felt like balancing on an edge, and there was nothing solid to catch her if she fell. "Let us just take it slow," Jenna finally said, trying to keep her voice steady. "You can be here for now, but don't expect everything to change overnight." "Fair enough," he replied, relief washing over him. But even as they finished their ice cream, laughter mingling with unease, Jenna knew that the questions would continue to swirl. What would taking it slow even look like? And despite the small flicker of hope that had crept into her heart, the shadows of doubt whispered persistently. The door was ajar, but was she courageous enough to step through? What lay ahead could either deliver her greatest fears, or her most profound transformation. The thought haunted her that as the kids scurried away to play, Jenna locked eyes with her father once more. What revelations awaited them when the ice cream was gone, and the lights dimmed after the children went to bed? Would their fragile truce weather the storm of unconfessed truths? She could feel the choices looming ahead, heavy with expectation. But what if this was just the beginning? What if she was about to discover something about herself that went beyond forgiveness? The laughter of her children echoed through the house, a sweet contrast to the tension that clung to Jenna's heart. She watched them dart around the living room, energy bubbling over as they chased each other, oblivious to the storm swirling above their heads. Jenna forced herself to smile, but inside, her world felt like it was teetering on a precipice. "Jenna," her father's voice cut through her reverie like a knife. Can we take a walk? Just the two of us?" Her instinct was to refuse, to keep the safe distance she'd maintained for years. But the look in his eyes nudged at some part of her that still craved connection. The part that wanted to believe he could change. "Okay, just a few minutes," she relented, tension knotting her stomach. They stepped outside, the cool evening air washing over them as the last hues of sunset painted the sky. Leaves crunched beneath their feet, and Jenna felt the weight of her decision sink deeper. "Thank you for this," he said softly, his hands shoved deep into his pockets. "I know it's not easy." "Easy? It hasn't been easy for a long time," she shot back, though her tone was more frustrated than accusatory. "You're back, but everything is still broken." "I know," he murmured, his voice laced with regret. "But I want to help fix it. I need you to trust me." "Trust?" The word hung heavily between them. "You think that just saying it will make it true? I don't even know who you are anymore." His gaze fell to the ground, and for a moment, Jenna saw not the man who left but a boy lost in his choices. "I understand. I did a lot of hurting, not just to you but to myself, and I don't want to keep making excuses." "Words don't heal wounds," Jenna replied, a lump rising in her throat. "They just remind me of everything I lost. Your absence has shaped me, Dad. I don't even know how to let you back in. What if I showed you?" He took a step forward, sincerity written all over his face. "What if I start by being present? Just here for now?" Jenna hesitated. The past was a tangled web, and every step back towards him felt rickety, full of echoes from years of pain. Yet, somewhere under her cynicism flickered a faint ember of possibility. "Okay," she said, emotions racing within her. "You can be around the kids, but we'll take this slowly day by day. I'm not ready for the rest." "Whatever it takes," he replied, his voice filled with determination. Just then Lucas darted outside, face flushed with excitement and ice cream remnants still on his chin. "Mom! Dad! Can we build a fort?" His enthusiasm was contagious, a reminder of the simple joys that bound them. "Sure, buddy, let us do it," she answered, glancing back at her father, who smiled. As they dove into the playful chaos, laughter filled the air like a bomb. But Jenna couldn't shake off the lingering doubts. Could they really turn a new page? Were they merely distracted from the heavy undertones of their unresolved past? As night enveloped them, the kids piled blankets and cushions in the living room, transforming it into a makeshift castle. Jenna watched her father laugh and share in their joy, but she felt an ache settle in her heart. Would this moment last? She stole a glance at her father, only to find him looking at her with a soft gaze, as if he was examining the contours of her heart. Jenna, he began, his voice low. I promise to be better. Suddenly, Mia emerged from the fort, eyes sparkling with curiosity. Can you even promise that? Or is it just another wish? The question hung in the silence, shattering the fragile moment. It wasn't just Mia tackling the doubts, but it was Jenna questioning herself too. Could they ever heal? Maybe we can try, she said, her voice shaky but resolute. But with every maybe, the weight of fear pressed against her. What if this was a step into the unknown and not a journey towards healing? As the children giggled, a flicker of warmth ignited in her heart, but lingering shadows reminded her to remain cautious. Would she be brave enough to embrace the vulnerability required to forgive? And just as Jenna thought of all that was at stake, darkness crept over the living room like a thick fog. Would this new chapter unfold with light? Or would the predictions of her heart bring down the walls she had begun to build? Only time would tell. The fort was buzzing with laughter and a sense of whimsy, just as Jenna had hoped. Blankets draped over furniture turned it into a magical hideaway. Lucas and Mia were fully engrossed, their giggles bouncing off the walls while her father, Steve, got swept up in their excitement. For a moment, the heaviness of their past seemed to dissipate, replaced by a fragile joy that filled the room with warmth. But as Jenna watched her kids pile pillows and blankets, a flicker of unease returned. This moment filled with laughter and promise felt precarious. Could it hold? Or was it merely a distraction from the cracks waiting to be mended? Just as she was lost in thought, Lucas scampered over, eyes gleaming with delight. Mom, can you come inside and be our queen? You can rule the fort. Queen, huh? She asked, feigning a regal tone which made him squeal in delight. What does the queen get to do? Everything, he shouted, tossing his hands in the air. You can make us snacks and give us stories. A flutter of laughter surged through her, a balm on the day's worries. She climbed into the fort, that tiny space filled with colorful cushions, and assumed her throne. For just a moment, she allowed herself to be swept away by their joy. Mia crawled close and whispered, Mom, can we have a fairy tale? Of course, my darling, Jenna replied, her heart swelling. Once upon a time in a kingdom far away. As Jenna spun the tale, weaving magical creatures and brave heroes, she felt a connection building, almost palpable in its intensity. Yet, behind her words, uncertainty lingered. Was she just putting on a brave face? Would the kingdom she was creating with her children collapse under the weight of her unresolved feelings? Steve watched them from the edge of the fort, silently caught in the moment. A part of Jenna wanted to smile at him, to invite him into the glow of their impromptu kingdom, but another part kept her anchored, feeling the pull of their past, his absence, the hurt, the years lost. When the story concluded, the kids cheered, their faces lit up like the twinkling stars outside. More! More! They cried in unison. Jenna looked around, finding joy and the heaviness of doubt side by side. Let us take a break, she said, pulling herself out of the fort. How about some snacks to fuel more adventures? As they gathered in the kitchen, Jenna felt the tiny fractures in her heart protesting. She glanced over at Steve, who had stepped back, allowing her space. Would he still be there when the laughter faded and reality returned? As they prepared snacks together, she felt the ghost of their past loom over them again, though no words were exchanged. Mia, Jenna began again, trying to keep the atmosphere light. Do you want to help me with the cookies? Yes, Mia squealed, racing over, and Jenna felt a pull towards her daughter. But in that fleeting moment, her heart collided with doubt. Was it enough? The cookies wouldn't fix their broken family, nor would they soothe her fear. Steve reached out, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. I know it feels overwhelming, he said, his voice low and tender, but I'm here. She met his eyes, searching for the sincerity she hoped was there. Will you really be? What if you decide you can't handle it again? Then I'll keep fighting. For you. For us, he said, his tone firm yet gentle. The words hung in the air, a challenge and an offering all at once. Could she believe him? Could she let herself hope? Jenna took a deep breath, her heart racing at the edge of vulnerability. She wanted to dive in to trust again, but the fear of potential heartache was like a heavy anchor. And as the family carefully decorated cookies, laughter and flower dust creating a beautiful mess, another thought crept into her mind. While the kids played, reflecting on what her father had just said, could they all move from this moment of chaos into something real? Later that evening, as she settled down by herself, Jenna pondered her next steps, the distance between what she felt and what she wanted yawning wide. She glanced at the kids still giggling in their fort. Could they venture deeper into this newfound journey? Where would it lead? Just then, as if the universe wanted to offer her a sign, her phone buzzed with a text from her sister. When are you going to face the past? Don't wait too long. Jenna's eyes widened. Maybe it wasn't just her heart at stake. Would she be brave enough to confront the reality of their situation? Would she be ready to rise, not just for herself but for the family around her before it was too late? Jenna sat in the dim light of the living room, the soft hum of the kids' laughter still lingering like a warm embrace. The fort had become a world of its own, vibrant with imagination, and for a moment, she allowed herself to be fully present. But as the shadows shifted in the corners of the room, doubt crept back in, whispering questions she couldn't ignore. Her sister's text flashed in her mind. When are you going to face the past? It felt like a challenge, and she wasn't sure she was ready to rise to it. What did it mean to face it? Did she have to dig into all the pain, the disappointments? Mom! Lucas shouted, breaking her trance. He poked his head out of the fort, his face lit with excitement. Are you going to tell us another story, or are we going to watch a movie? She forced a smile, touched by his innocent enthusiasm. How about a movie tonight? Yay! Mia chimed in, bouncing on the couch. Can we have popcorn? Of course, Jenna replied, feeling her heart swell with affection for her kids. She left the room, but as she walked to prepare the popcorn, the weight of reality pressed against her chest. How often had they turned to distractions instead of tackling the tough stuff? Steve joined her in the kitchen, reaching for a bowl. I can help, he said, a smile on his face, as if he wanted to bridge the gap that constantly seemed to widen between them as they shared the kitchen. Jenna felt the old ease begin to surface. But then just as quickly the doubts returned. Do you think this is enough? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Enough? I think we're just getting started, Steve replied, glancing at her with a mixture of determination and vulnerability. We can rebuild this, you know. His words cut through the clutter in her mind. Was it worth the effort? Could she let herself believe they could create something stable from the ashes of their past? Maybe she began, but how do we even start? Start small. His tone was steady, soothing. One conversation at a time. One honest moment at a time. The popcorn popped in the microwave, the familiar sound cutting the tension filling the air. Jenna felt a small flicker of hope, just a tiny spark. What if they could face it together? What if they found a way to start anew, not as they once were, but as who they wanted to be? As they settled down with the popcorn and the kids ready with blankets, Jenna felt both anxious and excited. The film played on the screen, but her mind raced with thoughts larger than any childhood tale they could share. She chewed through her popcorn, her anxieties choking her as they started to eat. Can we really do this? Suddenly, Lucas turned to her, a serious look on his face. Mom, why don't you ever smile as much as you used to? Her heart squeezed. Children had a way of cutting through the noise, hitting the truth right on the mark. As she looked into his innocent eyes, tears threatened to form. I'm trying, honey, she replied softly, her voice thickening. Just remember, it's okay to feel sad sometimes, but laughing is more fun. Mia giggled, fully engrossed in the moment as if her words were the cure to everything. I know, Jenna whispered, both touched and scared. Could she truly let herself laugh again? The movie unfolded, but Jenna's mind was elsewhere, filled with her kids' laughter and her own unformed thoughts. Maybe tonight was the night she could take a leap, open up to Steve, to herself, to whatever lay ahead. And just as another weight of vulnerability rose to the surface, her phone buzzed again. This time a different message popped up, one that felt heavy and grim. I heard from a friend about what happened with you guys. You should really think about talking to a professional. Jenna's stomach twisted. Confronting their past was starting to feel real, more urgent than ever. But how could she face her fears by doing what felt necessary? As the flickering lights of the TV illuminated her face, pride mingled with fear. Could she open the door to the emotions she had been avoiding all this time? Jenna held her breath. Maybe she could finally face it. And not just for herself. The time to step into the light was near. But where would it lead her? The movie's opening credits faded to a tranquil scene, but Jenna's mind was far from the screen. She kept glancing at her phone, the message echoing in her thoughts like a persistent echo. Should she really seek help? The word professional felt foreign and a little intimidating. Mom, look. Lucas laughed, drawing her back to the moment, pointing at a funny scene. Jenna managed a smile, but it felt glued on, as if her heart were trapped beneath layers of uncertainty. I'm here, honey, she said, forcing herself to immerse in their laughter. But even as she chuckled at their antics, she felt the weight of that message press down on her. Could she keep pretending everything was fine? In the days that followed, her routine of work and parenting continued, yet a flicker of courage was ignited. While washing dishes, Jenna imagined herself talking with a therapist, unearthing emotions she had packed away. As she folded clothes later, she thought about the times she had felt truly happy. Mom, can we have a picnic tomorrow? Mia's voice broke into her thoughts. A picnic? Jenna echoed, unsure. The notion felt spontaneous, out of sync with her analytic mind. Yeah, with sandwiches and juice. Mia bounced on her toes, eyes sparkling. Okay, let us do it. Jenna felt an unexpected warmth spread through her at the thought. Felt good to say yes. The next morning they spread out the blanket in the small park nearby. The sun warmed their skin, and birds chirped cheerily. As they bit into their sandwiches, Lucas began recounting his latest adventure from school, his animated expressions drawing laughter from Jenna and Mia. Mom, you're smiling. Lucas exclaimed, his eyes wide with joy. Jenna couldn't help it. She let out a genuine laugh, the kind that felt like swimming in warm water. It felt freeing, almost like she was shedding parts of her past. But just as happiness settled in, her phone buzzed again, cutting through the bliss. She picked it up, her heart racing, hoping it would be something light. Instead, it was a notification from her sister, a lingering echo of their last heated conversation. Just remember, facing the past is the only way to move forward. Ugh, she muttered under her breath. Mia peered over. What's wrong, Mom? Nothing, sweetie, Jenna replied, setting the phone aside. But the item lay heavy on her chest. Who was she kidding? Avoiding it wouldn't make it disappear. Later, as they walked home from the picnic, Jenna's thoughts swirled. Maybe it was time to brave the conversation she had been putting off with Steve and herself. What if she shared her feelings about their situation? That night, after tucking in the kids, Jenna took a deep breath and ventured into the living room where Steve was flipping through channels. Can we talk? She asked, her heart racing. Sure, he replied, his tone warm but laced with curiosity. She sat down across from him, the space between them feeling charged. Jenna knew that this was a moment that could change everything. About us. About the kids. About what we need to face. His expression shifted to one of intent listening, as if he could sense the weight behind her words. She felt vulnerable yet grounded. But just as she found her footing, a loud crash echoed from the kitchen. Jenna's heart stopped. What was that? She gasped, adrenaline surging. Stay here. Steve leaped from the couch, heading towards the noise. Jenna's breath hitched as she followed him into the kitchen, every nerve ending buzzing with uncertainty. Whatever was about to happen might be the catalyst for the profound change she desperately craved. But would it lead her to the truth, or deeper into the shadows she was trying to escape? What awaited in the kitchen felt like more than just broken dishes. It was the very opportunity to reveal the unseen fractures in their family. The kitchen door swung open as Jenna steadied herself for whatever lay ahead. Fear mingled with a strange sense of anticipation. The room spilled out into a chaotic mess: shattered plates, spilled juice, and a few scattered toys from the kids. But amidst the wreckage, a figure stood hunched over, hands on the counter. It was Mia. Mia! Jenna shouted, rushing forward. What happened? I just wanted to help wash dishes, Mia mumbled, tears brimming in her eyes. But I slipped. Jenna's heart sank. Oh honey, it's okay. She knelt down beside her, brushing hair from her daughter's face. Accidents happen. She tried to calm her voice, but inside, Each shattered plate felt like a reflection of her own life, broken pieces waiting to be put back together. As Jenna hugged Mia tight, she caught Steve's watchful gaze. He slowly kneeled to help, his shoulders tense. Jenna felt the fractures shift between them, the tension sharp and palpable. The frantic thoughts that had cluttered her mind slipped away momentarily as she focused on comforting Mia, wiping away the tears. "I'm sorry, Mommy," Mia said, her tiny voice quaking. "You don't need to apologize, sweetie." Jenna held her daughter, inhaling the sweet scent of strawberries and juice that clung to her from the picnic. "We'll clean this up together." With gentle coaxing, Jenna ushered Mia into action. "Let us get a broom and a mop, okay? Just a little mess." As they cleaned, a change began to stir within Jenna. Amid the chaos, there were moments of laughter. Mia's giggles and Lucas's silly impressions filled the room as they worked. Jenna felt a lightness creeping back in, like rays of sunshine breaking through the clouds. Jenna finally said, "Do you remember how I said facing things is important?" "Yes," Mia chirped back, still focused on picking up the pieces. Jenna paused, the weight of her own revelation settling in. "Well, I think it's time I face some things too. Not just for me but for all of us." Steve watched from his spot, listening intently. She could feel his eyes on her. This was the moment to speak, to begin untangling the mess of feeling lost and unable to connect. "Mia, sweetheart," Jenna continued, "you can always share your feelings. And I want you to know it's okay for me to share mine too." Steve stepped closer, a softness now blending with the initial tension. "You're right, Jenna. We all need to talk about everything." The whirlwind of emotions inside Jenna swelled. Was this a door opening? She glanced at him, feeling strength in the solidarity of their small family unit. As they finished cleaning, Jenna felt that familiar tightness in her chest, but now there was a twist of excitement mingling with it. She could envision a conversation full of nuance, emotions, truth. And suddenly, it didn't seem so intimidating. Just as they set the last dishes aside, and Jenna breathed a sigh of relief, her phone buzzed again. The notification blinked to life, piercing the moment. "Don't back down now." Her breath hitched. It was from her sister again, urging her forward. "Mia, Lucas," she said, turning toward her kids, "why don't we sit down together? I want to talk about some bigger things." Before she could finish her thought, the phone buzzed again. Whirling her thoughts, Jenna felt caught between the past and the moment before her. The kitchen filled with potential. And now, with the weight of the past still lingering, Jenna couldn't escape the question swirling in her mind. Would this be the moment when everything shifted? As the kids settled on the couch, she gathered her courage, looking at Steve. What if this conversation, this very moment, held the key to their family's healing? Would they be able to break through the chaos and truly connect? Jenna took a deep breath, ready to speak. But another crash echoed from the living room, jolting her back. What had shattered this time? But more importantly, would she find the strength to confront not just the chaos of the moment, but the unspoken truths that had lain dormant for far too long? Jenna's heart raced as the crash echoed through the house. She shot a quick glance at Steve, whose eyes widened in alarm. "Stay here with Mia," he said, urgency pulling him toward the living room. The echo of the crash still reverberated in her mind as Jenna focused on keeping her breathing steady. She turned to Mia, who had grabbed onto Lucas, wide-eyed. "Mommy, what is happening?" Jenna knelt down to meet her children at eye level, forcing a smile, hiding her concern. "I'm sure it's just a little bump. Steve is checking it out." Mia nodded, though her grip on Lucas tightened. Jenna placed a reassuring hand on Mia's back, feeling the tension there. In that moment, she realized just how much her children absorbed from her worries. She needed to be strong for them. "Let us think of something fun while we wait," Jenna suggested, channeling her energy into positive thoughts. "How about we all create a story together?" Lucas's eyes lit up. "I want to make a dragon who saves the day. I want to make a princess," Mia added, her enthusiasm spilling over temporarily. Jenna encouraged them, weaving their ideas into one. They gathered cushions and blankets, creating a little stage in the living room. In her heart, Jenna rooted for Steve, hoping there wasn't serious damage. But the children needed her focus now. A few moments later, Steve returned. His brow furrowed, but he wore the faintest smile. "It was just a decoration that fell. Nothing important, just surprised me." Jenna felt a wave of relief wash over her. She was proud of him for staying calm. See, nothing to worry about, she said, turning back to the kids. Now let us continue our story. The kids dived into their imaginative world. Dragons soared, and brave princes leaped into action. Jenna listened, her heart warming as laughter filled the space. With each moment, it felt as if they were building something new together, a different kind of family bond. After the dragon had saved the kingdom, Jenna knew it was time. The moment she'd been building toward all evening had arrived. Can we take a break? She asked, her voice steady. I need to talk to you all about something. Mia's laughter faded, and curiosity painted her face. What is it, Mommy? Jenna took a deep breath. Well, we've had a lot of changes in our house lately, right? The kids nodded. And I think it's important to talk about what that means for us as a family. It's okay to feel mixed up sometimes. Steve placed his hand on her shoulder, a meaningful gesture of support. I think we need this conversation, he said, his voice warm. I want to be open with you both, Jenna continued, her voice quaking slightly. I want us to face things together, even if they seem scary. If there's anything you're feeling or thinking, I want to hear it. Mia looked contemplatively at Lucas, then back at her mother. Are you mad at us for the mess earlier? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. No, sweetheart, Jenna replied, holding her gaze. I'm not mad. I want you both to know it's okay to make mistakes. We all do. It's how we learn and grow. Lucas piped up, his big blue eyes searching Jenna's. What do you feel, Mommy? You seem sad sometimes. A lump formed in Jenna's throat. This was the moment. They were ready. Well, yes. Sometimes I feel lonely, lost, and scared. But I'm learning that sharing those feelings helps us understand each other better. I want to become stronger for you both, to be the mom you can always come to. Tears prickled her eyes. She had said it. The words floated out like fragile balloons, but they were anchored in vulnerability. Mommy, I want to help. Mia called out suddenly, empathy shaping her tiny features. Can we do it together? Jenna's heart cracked open, a rush of warmth filling the cracks once hidden. Yes, honey, together. Just then, Jenna's phone vibrated again, breaking the moment. She glanced at the screen and exhaled sharply as the message read. It's time to show the world who you really are. Was this journey truly about to unfold? Could she be brave enough to not only transform her family but herself? Steve, Jenna murmured, her pulse quickening as she looked at him. What if we all shared how we want to change? Together? The air in the room crackled with potential, leaving Jenna breathless. What awaited them on this journey? The soft glow of the living room illuminated Jenna's face, as she stood on the precipice of a new beginning. The spark of courage ignited within her, fueled by the innocent voices of her children, warmed her heart like rays of sunshine breaking through stormy clouds. Could they really change? The answer swirled around her, waiting to be found together. Mommy, Mia's small voice broke through her thoughts. Can we all be friends? Like a happy family? Absolutely, sweetheart, Jenna replied, her heart swelling. We'll become the best team we can be. Teamwork. Lucas shouted with delight, his bright eyes shining. And I'll be the best dragon saving the day. Jenna chuckled lightly, but the weight in the air shifted. And I'll be the queen who guides you. She added, feeling the playful spirit surface. Steve stepped forward, the warmth in his demeanor reassuring. I will be your loyal knight, he said, letting laughter fill the space. Jenna looked at him, their eyes locking in an understanding deeper than words. It felt like a subtle promise, a commitment to rebuild. Okay, everyone. Jenna clapped her hands, steeling herself. Team Dragon, let us talk about how we can help each other. The kids settled down, their giggles fading into curious expressions. Jenna's heart raced. This was the moment she had longed for. The moment where honesty could lay the foundation for healing. Mia, Lucas, she began, her voice steady yet gentle. I want to be open with you. The truth is that sometimes I feel overwhelmed, like a lot is happening and I don't always know how to handle it. Like the time we dropped the dishes? Mia asked, her brows furrowing together. Exactly, honey. Sometimes we all mess up. And it's okay to admit when we don't know the answers. I'm learning to face my past and the things that have hurt me. I want to be stronger. Together we can help. Lucas piped up, bouncing in his seat. Yes. I want us to share what we want to work on to grow and become the best family we can be. Steve shifted closer, a mirror of Jenna's anxiety but filled with determination. I want to try to be more present, to truly listen and be here for you guys. Jenna nodded at him, feeling his sincerity wrap around their moments like a warm embrace. I want more family game nights and fewer serious talks, Lucas announced, eyes gleaming. We all do. Games and joy are important. Jenna laughed, the tension diluting in the room, laughter spilling light into the foundation they were building. And what about emotions? Mia asked, her brow furrowing again. The innocence in her voice struck a chord in Jenna's heart. Emotions are important too, Mia, Jenna said softly, kneeling to look her children in the eyes. If we have questions or fears, we can talk about them. I want to hear everything you think and feel. Even scary stuff? Lucas whispered. Especially the scary stuff. In that moment, the shimmer of hope rolled through Jenna, enveloping her kids and her budding relationship with Steve, something she never imagined could emerge from the depth of despair. They spent the evening sharing stories, soft moments filled with laughter and occasional silly antics. Even when silence cloaked nervous thoughts, it felt comforting. We can try to be strong together, Jenna said again, strengthening her resolve. Trust is the first step. Over time we'll grow. As bedtime approached, the rays of the setting sun poured through the window, wrapping them in warmth. Jenna tucked her children in, feeling their little hearts beating, her heart dancing in tune with theirs. Steve lingered in the doorway, and his gaze turned thoughtful. You're doing great, Jenna. I'm proud of you. I couldn't have done it without them, she whispered, glancing back at their little fort filled with remnants of laughter and love. And I couldn't have done it without you. As the night wrapped around them, Jenna pushed away her fears. She could feel the passion of transformation coursing through her veins. The journey was just beginning, shining like a beacon of possibility. Tomorrow we can build more memories. Together. And for the first time she felt the certainty that they could weave something beautiful together, a tapestry of love, trust and resilience. As she turned off the lights and left the room, Jenna recognized that every moment formed a new thread, guiding them into a promising future. She embraced the fears, knowing they were simply part of the journey. This was her family, her team, ready to face everything one step at a time. Now is the moment you must rally together. There's power in this journey, and you need to be a part of it. Subscribe immediately to the channel, so you don't miss the next incredible stories. Leave a like now to show your support. It really makes an impact. Comment below and share your reactions and feelings about this inspiring ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting our channel through these actions. Let us take this journey together.